Hey guys, Sunstreaker Wozza here. Welcome back to another Thursday live stream. Where yes, we're here as always, guys, with up-to-date information and tips and tricks and whatever else on Transformers Earth Wars. So thanks for joining me, guys. So this week is no different than every other week. Well, I mean, it is different because we can't be doing the same content every single week, but you get what I mean. Is that we're here, and obviously, if you've got any questions, anything else you want to put in the chat, not that question, grind time, but any questions, you're welcome to put it in the chat, guys, and I will do my best to answer them. But this week's stream. So we're going to be talking a bit about the new exchange that's come to the store today and ask if it's worth it or not. So I've got a few little maths tidbits to give you an idea on whether it's going to be worth it or not. Then we're going to be talking a bit about a bundle in store and again sort of talking about its worth, whether it's worth buying or not. We could take a look at two bots and comparing them. I had a conversation with my buddy Grindtime about this bot and whether he should put his team or not, and I was had a bit of a think about it, and there's pros for and against both bots. And I want to talk about why you would put each in your team, why you wouldn't, and the pros and cons for each. And then sometimes I get a bit of ideas from comments on YouTube and in chats and things like that. And someone in my YouTube comments asked for me to go through my tier list, S tier bots, and go through how I would set them up and why. And I thought it was a really good idea because it's all well and good doing, I think these bots are S tier, but how do you get the best out of them bots? So rather than just do them all, I thought, yeah, you know what, it's a good idea to go through the S tier bots that I think are S tier anyway, and sort of go through my setups and why. So yeah, that is in today's stream, guys. Apologies, there's nothing else in terms of new bots, new content. There's nothing in playtest. It's very, very quiet. I know it's getting close to the event for the new content, for the new bot, but sadly nothing is even in playtest yet. So I'm a bit worried, but it's nothing new, and we'll have to wait and see and try and push them forward to get it into playtest so we can get it out to you guys and get it in the streams and get an idea what it's like and get it balanced very quickly. I did talk about an interview with Dale. I know that Callum's been ill, so we are looking at doing that over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, quite a bit to come, but it's not ready yet. Apologies, guys. But let's have a look who we've got in the stream. So Trax was first. Thanks for being a member and a mod as well. A long-serving member at that as well. Not many people have got the emblem that it has for the Titan Spark. I might have to make some more tiers maybe. Because some are actually hitting the max tiers now, which when I created these, I was like, yeah, no one's going to hit that. But people are. So I'm about to make some more tiers for people, I think. Andrew Stevenson as well says, good morning. You mean good night? It's good night for me. Let me know where you're from, Andrew. Are you from Australia? Because I think in Australia, it would be around 11 a.m, I think. Something like that. That's what it was like for tech. I think it was like 10 hours behind, I think, in New Zealandish. Something like that. But yeah, it's 9:30 at night for me. Well, he's put us at work, so he can't watch, so maybe won't answer. We've got Dartlance as well, we've got Jason Rowley, we've got Ricky Law, we've got Blade 1999 as well, who's also a member, thanks for being a member as well. My buddy Cheeto as well, good to see you. My buddy Grind Time, obviously mod, longest serving member, I think, biggest supporter, so always good to see him here. We've got Kevin Harden as well, we've got Spen0787, Candyman, another of my moderators and members. Thanks for joining as well, buddy. We've got Deshaun. We've got... Who else have we got? We've got E-Rods. We've got Autobot Phil. We have... Who else? Mark4025. How's it going? Thanks for joining. It keeps skipping ahead. We've got MD Prime as well. We've got RG UH2RF. I think Cheeto's changed his name from his actual name to Classic Cheeto. So I think you can change your name. So if you want to change your name, I think you can somewhere. But obviously Cheeto will know more than me. We've got London's Calling as well. And we've got, I think that's Cube as well. which is one of the devs for Transformers Earth Wars as well. So good to see you. Yeah, so doing well. RL wise, I mean, I do the updates every now and again, don't I? Just to give you a bit of an insight. Work wise, obviously January's done really well. After Christmas, normally you have a bit of a lull in January, but doing really well. Been really busy, so I've been doing some recruiting and stuff. I took 5 staff on because we're doing so well. I've lost a few after Christmas as well. People got all the jobs, people got transfers and stuff like that. So, yeah, took 5 new staff on, and yeah, just this week. So I'll see how that goes. But yeah, pub is doing really well, and trying to decide whether I want to stay there from the end of my days, have an easy life, or whether I want to go to something bigger and better and try my hand at something bigger. You know, I'm getting. I know you might not think it, but I'm getting on in life. You know, I'm 43 now. 44 coming up. So you got to think like, you know, do I want more stress in my life at this age, or do I want an easy life? I've still got a few years in me yet, I know that, but I've got to decide what I want to do. So yeah, Ron Van Holland as well. Welcome to the streams. Just put, are we at 10 years already? I am. I'm in. How many days am I at? I mean, you can't see on your screen there, but I'm at 3,674 days. So yeah, I'm past 10 years. But in June it'll be officially 10 years. Officially. What else? I think the big news is obviously, well, not obviously, because you don't know. The big news is Mirage Jake, or Jake, as you know, my son. It's on trial at Port Vale Football Club. It's had a few trials here and there, as you well know if you follow the channel. But this looks quite promising. It is like about a 60-mile drive, so it is a bit of a drive. But it's only been there a couple of times, but seems to do quite well. And then he's got another trial maybe at Oldham, which is a bit closer. It's only like 5 miles away. So he's got a couple of places, a couple of things to do. He's doing well in football. He's top goal scorer in one team, second top goal scorer in the other team. He plays for 2. Plays Saturday and Sundays. Trains twice a week as well. So, but he's currently obviously on I'll say on trial as such. Yeah, for the next 8 weeks maybe. And he'll train Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then play Saturday and Sunday. So he's actually going doing a bit of running as well to help with his fitness for these teams and that. So he's doing a lot recently. But you know, good luck to him. I hope it works out for him. But you know, you can never tell in this. It depends what they're looking for. Depends, you know, how well you do, how confident you are, and it matters 101 things. To be honest with you, it's only a slim chance. But hey, it's what he enjoys. So I hope he does well with it. Let's see how many, well, not how many, because I'm not going to count them, but let's see what questions we've got in the chat. So, obviously some chats about what's happening in the stream and stuff, which obviously we've gone through and we'll go through as we go through. Grind Times asked if I've seen the Masters of the Universe trailer. Yeah, but I think the old movies were disappointing, and I don't think He-Man's made a comeback. So, you know, I think the problem is that if you ask the kids of today what He-Man is, none of them will know. So, you know, I think there's like a sort of like a, you know, a knock-on effect of things that need to happen for something to be, you know, do quite well. So, you know, if they'd have brought the Endgame film out first, it wouldn't have got anywhere near the traction, but they sort of built it up by bringing things out and stuff, and, you know, bringing series out and bringing even cartoons for kids out and building a lot of hype with it, and, you know, things like that. And I just think that this He-Man thing's come out of nowhere, really. I mean, it's not Transformers related, but hey, we're on to the subject. I just think it's come out of nowhere, really. And, you know, there's been no hype behind it in terms of, like, you know, they should have brought out maybe a He-Man cartoon. I don't think there has been. I've not heard anything about it. You know, He-Man cartoon, maybe get the kids involved, you know, things like that, and then bring it out. So, a bit of nostalgia for people my age, but there's not really been a insurgence of new stuff of He-Man, has there, really? I don't think so. I'm not too bothered about it. I think I'll watch it when it comes out on whatever, but I'm not going to run to the cinema to watch it, I don't think. Unless it gets really good reviews, which I don't think it will. I think it'll be a bit of a letdown, if I'm honest. So, I don't know, I'm on the fence. RGUH, can you showcase Raiden and Dino King? If you remind me towards the end of the stream, then yes, I will. Chat has put, whoa, old name drop. Do you even still talk to Tex? I do hit him up every now and again. Also don't play the game anymore. He's asked me to go and play the game with him a couple of times. And I said, like, you'll come a content creator over here, you'll do a lot better and things like that. But it's not my thing. Transformers is my thing. And I've always said that the only way I really think I'd leave this game is one of two ways. Is if the game shut down, then yeah, I'd obviously leave this game because the game shut down. Or if there was a better Transformers game that came out, maybe. But I've seen a few games come out and nothing's come close, not even close at all. So, that's the only way I would change. I would lose this, but I'd definitely go stay with Transformers. It's kind of a franchise that I know and I love. So, yeah, I don't think I'd be leaving to go to another game like that. Don't answer, but I found it to change names, take some looking on your profile. Okay, cool. So there you go. It is possible. Classic Cheeto says he's 50. Cube, you don't look over 30, mate. I definitely do. Flattery will get you everywhere. Tracks, easy life. Push all the chips in the middle and let it ride, all on black. I know, but you get to an age where it's more risk because you have people obviously depending on you, like your kids and family and stuff like that. So, I could go to somewhere else and it not work out. Listen, they do shut pubs down, and that can be really detrimental because the way they work it is if they shut your pub down, you have 3 months to find a new pub. So basically, you're just gonna have to get whatever pub comes up quite soon, and sometimes it might not be the best of pub. It might be a bit of a trek. It's not one that you really want, and things like that. So, who knows? Damn, you are old. I'm actually quite young in terms of Transformers players because I think most of them are like 50 odd. When I talk to them, most Transformers fans were born in the 70s, whereas I was born in the 80s. So, yeah, Grindtime just said I think they're going to build up the He-Man universe starting with this movie. Well, maybe they do that, but I don't think they should start with the movie. I think you should build it up first and see how it goes, really. But some talk about Egg Ball. Yeah. Yeah, I know Cheeto. Yeah, Cheeto went to a ball game with Tex. Yeah, I do know that. He sent me some pictures and stuff. It was cool. Um, Also, I felt anything about 5-star Skyray? Nope, nothing yet at all. But I imagine it's probably the next couple of months. Grand Times put Travis Knight as director, saying that the Bumblebee. Yeah, Bumblebee was alright. I wouldn't say that it was amazing. I wouldn't go and say to people, go and watch Bumblebee, it's amazing. It was an okay Transformers film, better than some most, but, you know. Mark 425, I'm going to turn 18 this year. Wow, you young sprog. Candyman turned 50. So, yeah. Yeah, Grind Time 1977. Yeah, most Transformers fans were born in the 70s. I was a bit of a late starter, so I started watching them, like I said, when I started really getting into Transformers quite late. I mean, it would have been about 1986, 87 when I started getting into Transformers, so I was sort of going backwards, if that makes sense, watching old stuff. So, yeah. Mick Chinga, we're sharing our age here now. I mean, you don't have to. Tracks, I'm 2 years older than you, just switched disciplines and careers in the last 2 years. 20 years in concrete and now I'm in energy and red iron steel. Yeah, I kind of get similar industries in a way, though, innit? I suppose. You know, it's still building, it's still, raw materials and things like that. So it's interchangeable, innit? But I wouldn't change careers. I like my job. I do. And I like what I do. But the question is, do I want to go and challenge myself again and start again, have the stress of it and doing long hours? Listen, it's one of two things. Do I want a stressful life or an easy life? That's what I've got to decide. I could easily stay there and have an easy life. Everything's set up how I want it. Everything's working. It's doing really well. The people got underneath me, I like them. My boss is cool. Everything's working great. And I like the people I work with. Do I want to risk that and go and work for a different manager who I might not get on with, have staff that I don't like? I've got to start again and sort of get my own people in and things like that. And, it might not work out as well where I've got as good results as I am doing now. So, it's a big, big question. Yeah, Dartland's but Bumblebee's 1,000 times better than last night. Yeah, it is. I don't like the Transformers films. Bumblebee's alright. It's pretty good. That's as far as I go. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's pretty good. Yeah, Mark's put the Armada content, which is added in the game, makes me want to watch the Armada show. Yeah, I tried getting into Transformers Prime and I watched some bits of it, and I just find that there's some episodes I found were really good and some were rubbish. So I watched the end of Transformers Prime, the sort of last few episodes, and that was really good. I really liked that. But then some I went back to were rubbish. I'm not gonna lie. And same with Beast Wars, I just find the graphics a bit. You accept that the G1 cartoon was old and it was in that sort of style of cartoons, but Beast Wars I feel was trying to be modern without. At the time it was, but now it just looks really dated. I feel. I don't know. I just got. I don't know. It might be a bit of a cliche for me. I don't know, but I didn't really like the Beast Wars cartoon. So yeah, but I get what you mean though. Yeah, I do want to go back and watch it just so I know what's going on with these characters and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Yeah, I'm younger than Chris Harmon as well. Younger than Vic Ching. See, I'm a baby. Chris Harmon's put, was it the better He-Man movie will be the Chris Hemsworth one coming out next year? Is that happening though? I don't know. I mean, it makes sense because he looks like him, but I can't imagine them bringing out a He-Man film then another He-Man film in 2 years. That makes no sense to me. Um, Grand Transport, that opening scene of Bumblebee was a love letter to us real fans. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 2007 Transformers movie first Bayverse was a good intro, but not using source material destroyed the sequels. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tracksport, Transformers Prime did have some filler episodes, but overall solid in the whole smokescreen arc. I found interesting in a different take. Yeah, good to know. Do you think the Cyberverse content will be added in the game someday? I don't know. I presume so, but who knows? And then do Prime's put Beasts was my favourite. Yeah, I never got into. I don't. It depends how old you are, I suppose, and what you watched. But I only watched Transformers and then stopped. So yeah. Grand Sense put there is no Hemsworth He-Man movie coming out. Yeah, I think it's all just a bit. You know, I think that He-Man, when you look back at it, looks a bit like Chris Hemsworth in that sort of sense and that sort of that Viking sort of image. But yeah, I didn't think it would be, but yeah. John Downey has put, here's my question. When do they introduce Unicron into this game? Do they, and if so, like the end game for this mobile game? I did have a concept, in that sense. And this is a good talking point, actually. Because I feel like in this game, it's a very solo game. You're fighting wars and you all come together to make points, but you don't interact with each other. You don't even interact with the other base. You attack the base, but the other person defending has no input on when you attack other than setting their base. So it's a very much, it's not a PvP as in terms of live PvP. It's just PvP as in you set yourself up and then they have to try and beat that. In events, you do your bit, everyone else does their bit, and you gain points together. But it's a very much a solo game, and I think that's probably at its detriment a bit. I understand that Clash of Clans is very similar, but I like games where like Clash Royale, where they have an input and it's live and you can counter things and things like that. So I said, why don't they introduce something like that into this game where you can attack live and you can actually help each other? And so I had an idea where a bit like Raid, but you attack Unicron, and if someone else is attacking, you can jump in, and every time someone jumps in, it can have a multiplier and sort of help them, but you would see each other on the screen. It's a lot of programming, I get that. It'd be a massive ask. I don't think the team's up for it, but I think that'd be really cool. Where I could be attacking, and I could say to Grind Time, come and give me a hand, and he would jump in, and I would see his bots and mine, and we'd both join up, and even Decepticons could jump in to try and beat Unicron, and we'd all be battling at the same time, and every time someone jumps in, you get a multiplier. So if you can get 10 people in there, you get 10 people on the multiplier and you can do 10 times the damage. Again, it's just sort of spitballing. It sort of comes from the old TFL game sort of way of working. And TFL was great, I feel, for teamwork. It was absolutely amazing. What ruined TFL was probably the economy. It was too loose in some respects and too tight in others. And content was burnable. You would get content one week and the week after it was pretty much useless. and that was the biggest problem, I think. But it was very easy to gain resources and play free to play as well. So the little spending by the end was really involved once you got a top deck. So I just want something a bit different. If the new game mode is going to be us attacking something on our own without any input from anyone else, then I think it's going to fail because there's no input, and the least input there is. We see Titan Assault. There's very much little input in Titan Assault. You just drop your Titan and fire some blasts. People don't really like it. When we look at, when you look at, what's it called again? Oh God, it says elimination mode. It's just another attack. Yeah, you lose bots, but if you take away that from it, how different is it than every other mode in the game? It's no different. Wars are exactly the same. It's all about just attacking a base, and nothing is really that different. So I feel like they need to. Again, I keep saying this. They need to think outside the box a bit and do something different if they want this game to do well and to carry on for years and years to come. Over 10 years, they really need to start thinking outside the box. Because I can think for a lot of experienced players and top players, it gets a bit monotonous doing the same thing. And once you don't need many resources, it sort of drags the fun out of it because you don't need to play. And you don't want to play because you're like, God, again, I'm not going to lie, there's some days where I need energy on an ally. And I'm like, I've really got to do them 4 or 5 attacks. And I know it sounds mad. You're like, it's 4 or 5 attacks. It's like 20 minutes. But I'm like, I've got to go through the motions of attacking again. Ooh. So, I kind of get it. But they need something different for that, sure. Tracks, the idea for Unicorn is another way for the game to start crashing. Well. Yeah, Cheetos put so true. I don't know which point you mean so true to, but thanks. All of it. I don't know. Let me know. Big Blaze. So what are we doing today? You'll have to wait and see now. I've actually gone through it, but we're going to make a start anyway. But we are going to look at the newsletter first. Let's go through that. So Barbie Grana Week Ninny Bong. This weekend's event is called Letting Off Steam. I always try and read in between the lines on these events. Letting off steam. I don't know. Not to new bot? Who knows? So this weekend's event is just a nice, easy 10k event for Prime Core Shards, which obviously going to be relevant later on when we talk about the exchange of resources. So you can see there that we've got some rewards scattered throughout, with it being 2,500 Prime Core Shards at 10k points, and they're at 5k points as well. So 10k, nice and easy. Most people can smash this out in a day, probably, maybe a day and a half. So it is the normal zones, though, it's not mayhem, but it should be still an easy weekend. They've gone through sideways again, just similar to what they did last week. But yeah, we already knew that it was nothing new there in the newsletter. Some new bundles. You got a combat bundle, a prime shard, super pack, where you get some prime core shards. Then you've got some G1 bundles and a crystal shop, which is available right now for some Solus and Megatronus Spark. And then you've got a 5% code off as well with 5 off. So make sure you use that, guys, if you go and purchase anything in the cyber store. It's available until the 19th. So until the 19th. Am I looking at last week's? What? This is this week's newsletter, right? Or am I going mad here? I think I'm losing the plot here now. Yeah, I don't know about that code. And then we've also got, like I said, a 10k event this week. 22nd. Which means the legacy event for Punch and Counter Punch is next week. Then we've got a Cyber Bowl event. Then we've got the new bot. Yeah, someone's put in the chat 19th of Feb. Yeah, I missed the second. I was like, 19th of the first? That's days ago. What's going on? Cool, thanks. And then Dale's got some, not Dale, sorry, Callum's got some awful jokes as always. And what do you call a robot taking part in illegal activities? Optimus Crime. I mean, they get worse. They get worse, not better. Then go and check out your content creators. Obviously, myself, Freezes Max, and Soldier. CF. It's good to see Soldier back. Obviously, Soldier had a child and sort of took a bit of a hiatus from creating content for a while. But he did do a bit of content last week, and I hope it's the start of him doing a lot more content. So, cannot wait for Soul to be back. And if you're in the chat, put it. Good to have you back creating content again. Those early years can be really taxing. Can be really hard when you've got a newborn baby. Trying to fit work and everything as well. I know he works quite a job away from home, so I don't blame him that when he gets home, the first thing he wants to do is obviously spend time with his child. So it's going to be a hard job for him, to do do everything. But he said he's got a schedule now, not a schedule, sorry. He's got a way for him to stream now while he's on the move, so that's good to hear. So glad to have Soldier back doing content. And then no team streams planned, as always. Cool. Okay. Well, let's kick it off. So we're going to kick off first with bundles. And so I did talk about the other week about how bundles have got a lot better over time, but they still drop the ball, I think, on some. And I think that this is one of those bundles, sadly. And that is the Total Soulless pack. And so for £9.49 British pounds or $10 roughly, you can get 100,000 Soulless Primes back, 100,000 Cybertron Alloy, and 1,000 Artifact Forge Shards. So at first I was looking at it, I was like, okay, is that any good? So I thought I'll just go and look what this is actually going to give me into the game. So it will give me a rank on Soulless Prime, but it won't give me a rank on my Forge of Soulless Prime. Now, I've only got mine at level 5, and I've only got my Soulless at 4. So it's not like I have them high level. And I know $10 is not a lot, don't get me wrong. But I just think that you'd expect it to give you a couple levels, maybe, at least. But it's not even one. For $10, none of this will give me, well, that'll give me one rank to level 5. And once you get past that, you're not getting anything. I just think they've missed the boat a bit with it, with the $10. If this gave me a couple of ranks, I'd probably just buy it. So I'm like, yeah, it's only $10. But I'm not going to spend $10 for, in effect, one rank. That's all it's going to give me. So I just don't think it's very good value. And I think we're finding this generally with the primes. And I get it's new content. And I get that new content is obviously hard to get within the economy. And they've got to be careful with it. And I sort of know all this. But you've got to think that what sort of player is going to buy this? I understand that at lower levels, the Soulless Prime Spark will give you a couple of levels. But I think that if this is achievable for, a decent bundle for higher players that have already got a few ranks, and this will give you a rank, then that's great. Now, I've got a chart here which sort of goes through how much you need for each level. So you see there, for rank 5, you need 100,000 prime specific spark. So up to 1 to 5, this £10 for that bundle is okay. It'll get you something. But after that, it literally gets you nothing. Now, I imagine that most half-decent players will have a prime around rank 5. I haven't really spent on my primes, and I've got Megatronus at 5 and Solus at 4. So I understand that around that, most players will have. So who's this bundle aimed at? Is it aimed at lower players that are going to get from rank 2 to 4 or 4 to 5. Always aimed at top tier players that are trying to get 1 million prime specific spark for level 10. That's a lot. It's a lot of prime spark. And so it doesn't even scratch the surface. And so I just feel like, to put it into perspective, if you need 1 million prime spark, and this gives you 100,000, $100 will get you 1 rank from 9 to 10. If you wanted to max out your Solus with this bundle, you would have to buy 17, 21, 24, 20, about 27 bundles. So yeah, it'd be around $250, $300 to max out your Solus Prime. It's a lot of money. It's a lot. So I would advise not to buy this bundle, if I'm honest. It says hot deal, which means that it's actually good value, better than what the other bundles will have. That worries me even more, that it's a hot deal. We normally see these on things like Combiner-Gate and Metamaker bundles, where they are actually hot deals and good value. This isn't. So don't bother, guys. Don't bother buying it. We know that Prime Spark and other Sparks Primes or whatever else will become more available as the Primes come out. Oh, I hope. But right now, it's really premium currency that they're sort of locking behind a massive paywall. And I think getting a Prime to 4 or 5 will suffice for now. And don't worry too much, guys. Don't spend money unnecessarily on hot deals that aren't hot deals. Save your money. And yeah, just give it a wait. OCF, is that your sheet? I thought it looked like one of your sheets, weren't sure. So yeah, I will stick it on the screen because it is a really good sheet. Thank you for doing these. I do like some of them, especially when it comes to, you know, a breakdown of all the costs and things like that. So yeah, keep it up. I like these. And Cheetos put, okay, I won't buy the bundle. I bet you've already bought the bundle. I bet you bought 10 of them. But yeah. And that kind of leads on to our next subject. If we can find it. There we go. So I was giving a heads up about this, and they're making Prime Core shards interchangeable with Prime Spark, which makes sense. A lot of people have said this for a while, you know, why can't we do this? And the ASA responded with, okay, let's let them do it. And so listen, on record, I'm really glad they have done this. It's a really good move to make sure that Prime Core shards are usable for even top players, because for quite a while we've said we've got no use for these. What we're going to be doing. It's good for new players who can get the attack Prime Cores. It's good for mid-tier players that can get the attack. They can get the defense Prime Cores. And now it's good for top players because you can get Solar Spark. But as always, the problem is the cost. So, I think some people will look at it as if to say, well, Prime Core shards were sat there doing nothing, so it's good to use them on something. Which I get, that is good. But a Solar Spark canister gives you 75,000 spark. Now, we've just looked at my Solus Prime. I need 100,000 Solar Spark just to rank up 1 level. So by getting one of them canisters, it won't do anything towards Solus Prime and getting her stronger. So yes, we can use these for these, but I've already said previously that in terms of upgrading the primes, I'm waiting for a better prime to come along. I said that Megatronus was a bit of a failure. I think a bit rushed, wasn't quite ready. I think they're just trying to testing the water a bit on what a prime can do and how effective it can be. And I feel like Megatronus is not effective at all, if I'm honest. Solus Prime is better. I find Solus Prime a bit like a boost for your team. I very rarely drop her, but if my team is struggling, needs a bit of healing, rather than using an ability like Ratchet or Minerva or Wheeljack to give them a bit of health, I'll drop Solus instead because she's free, whereas an ability costs ability points. So it's not like Solus makes a huge amount of difference within the game, but it's a bit of a boost. That's how I currently see her. But I've ran some maths. So let's just say that using the chart we saw a minute ago, let's just say we wanted to max out our Solus Prime. So mine's level 4, so I need 100,000, 180,000, 300,000, 470,000, 700,000, and then 1 million on top of, each other. So let's just say I was going to save my Prime Core Shards for now and forever and use that to max out my Solus because I like Solus, let's just say. So if I wanted to save all my Prime Core Shards and max out Solus, it would cost me 175,000 Prime Core Shards. Now, that doesn't sound a lot. It's a lot, it is, don't get me wrong. But when you're doing events for 5,000 Prime Core Shards, and that's kind of the standard, 175,000 means I'd have to do about another 20 events. Now, if there's one every saga, it's a bit of a problem, really. But I imagine over the next year or so, I could max out my Solus Prime buying these canisters for free by doing events. And I know there's going to be Spark available as well. So I'm like, okay, it's not great. It's not great value, but I can see an end game to it. But as a few people have said in my chat before, the problem is we're going to have 12 of these. It's not just one. If it was just Solus Prime, I'd be like, yeah, okay, it's alright. I can see it. I can see how it's going to work. I can see how it benefits people that are not going to pay. Everyone will get them in the end. It might take a year or so down the line to max out your Solus doing this, but I can see an end game. But 175,000 times 12 means you're going to need roughly around 2 million Prime Core Shards. Just think about that. 2 million Prime Core Shards to max out your primes, all 12 of them, roughly. And yes, I know you're going to have all the Spark. I know that you're going to be able to get bundles, and it's going to be in events, and all this sort of stuff. But if you wanted to do it just through Prime Core Shards, 2 million, it's a lot. They'd have to have them in every single event to even have a chance at doing something. And that's why, although I like the idea, again, I just feel like they've been a bit tight with it. I feel like it should easily be triple this. Easily. And I would spend my Prime Core Shards in a heartbeat, go and buy them. And you know what, maybe get my Solus to level 8 maybe. But right now, if I cash them all in, I've got about 12. Don't forget, you still need some for the Alpha Prime Core. That's going to come out. So let's just say I cashed 12 in. That will give me 750,000. Let's say a mil. Let's say a mil. Let's just say. And that would get me from rank 4. I've lost the chart again now. From rank 4 to rank 8. 1 prime. I wouldn't even get it maxed out. Cash them all in. So, although it's a good move from the apes, I just feel like they missed the trick again. I just feel like they've overestimated the cost. You know, when you think about leveling the primes, when you think about leveling the primes, when you think about ranking the primes, when you think about the artifact and all the resources you need for this, and then you times it by 12. That's the big difference. So I think they need to ease up on the economy a bit as the primes come out. I think the old primes need to be cheaper as new primes come out. And I'm hoping that is the way it's going to go. Otherwise, I can't see many people investing in the primes because they're far too out of reach. So we'll have to see how the team plays this when future primes come out and whether older primes become cheaper and the primes become better as they come out. I'm hoping. I've always said I'm waiting for a better prime to come out before I start investing in it. And I don't think this is there yet where I've got enough resources to invest it in Solus Prime. That's just going to make a big amount of difference. With HQ 19 coming out this year, I think primes need to have an influence on the battle, and they're not there yet. And so I'm going to save my resources, wait until a new prime comes out that's worthy of them, and then invest them. So I would advise you to do the same, guys. Don't jump at something new, have a bit of FOMO and go, oh my god, I want to spend all my resources on Solus Prime, when, let's be honest, she's only a bit of a battle boost right now in the game. She's not got a huge influence on the match. You could not drop her and still have the same outcome. So save your resources, wait till the new primes come out, wait till a better prime comes out, and if you're still stuck on leveling Solus, hopefully it should be cheaper. But if not, you can use your resources on the newer primes, who are going to do more for you. Yeah, Darton support 5-1 is stupid. He's right as well. It is. Again, the cost is just silly. What's everyone putting? Let's have a look. Grand Transport. So I did just buy it, and my forge went all the way to 10. What? Where am I looking? You bought the bundle? 1,000 artifact shards. 1,000 shards. $1,500 shards. That's right. Professional Huskies port. I thought the Prime Core shards would allow you to get the Prime itself after it came out, not a Spark. Yeah. Big change port, but the deal with Prime Core shards is alright. It's not. Unless it's bugged. Under crystals. Oh yeah, I was trying to look for it. I think you mean. Yeah. I know. I found them eventually. Bartman, I think I remember you actually. Yeah, been in my stream before. So just come back to the game a few days ago. It's really nice now after being off for 4 or 5 years. Well, come back. Let me know what you like about the new game. The game it is like it is now. What's changed? What do you like? What you don't like? It's good to talk to players that played the game before and come back and get their point of view. I mean, we're used to how the game is right now, and we forget how much has changed in the last few years. So yeah. Dart's put 5k shards for 75k spark is decent. Oh, it's not. It's really not. I think you're. I don't know why you think that's decent, honestly. And using that Prime Lab. I mean, that's it there. That's the Prime Lab. The new Prime is rumored to be Prime. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, Dark Lance's waiting for a better Prime. Yeah. Yeah, RG's put 35 events at 5k. Is 175k Prime shards. Yeah. Cheetos put both of our primes within the lab to be max rank. Jesus. How many bundles have you bought for that? Yeah, Dark Lance's bought the prime. The problem with primes with the XP for leveling. Yeah, that as well, I think. So yes, but some primes ought to be used more than others. I get where Wozza saying eventually all 13 primes, and we didn't get this on PT. You won't get things like this on PT, to be fair. They don't balance economy stuff in PT. It just gets put in. It's only bots and new content, really. Sometimes they'll put something in into the Unicron chat and just say, like, what do you think of this? But yeah. But yeah, I agree that the cost of Universal Spark definitely needs to come down. Universal Spark for me should be in bundles alone, and it should be like for like, I feel. But only available in bundles. Momo, let's try so. Welcome to the stream. Callum, next round will be Callum Prime. Good to see you in the chat, Callum. Thanks. For those that aren't aware, Callum is the one of the community managers for Transformers Earth Wars. Tracker Sport, a 10-year-old game that still thinks it's still brand new with the economy. I won't go that far. I mean, the economy back when it was brand new was a different kettle of fish. Trust me. Wow. Trust me. Data support. Problem with that thinking is the back end coding is linking them all together, which can't make older ones cheaper. I don't know. Grant time. Maybe I had some saved up from an event or something in terms of the price back. I don't know. I'd have to have a look. Cheetos, but I don't know if 5k Prime Core shards is decent, but it is what I'd expect. I don't know. I'd expect. I don't know. We don't see a lot of Prime Core events, and all I know is that, like I said, it'll get one of my. If I invested my Prime Core shards that I've been saving for how long? Years? A year? 18 months? 2 years? It would take one Prime to level 8, and then have none the other primes. And even if they do a Prime Core event every saga, I'm still nowhere close. Like someone said in the chat, it still takes 35 events to max one Prime out. So if they did 5k, if they did 5k shards in every single event for the next year, I'd have enough to max out 1.5 primes. For the next year in every single event. Think about that. They would have to put Prime Core shards in every single 5k in every single event for me to max out just 1.5 primes. When there's new primes coming out every every saga or every couple of months, whatever you want to call it. So by that, if they had 5k Prime Core, I love doing maths like this. If they had 5k Prime Core shards in every event, and I needed 2 mil, and it was 174 was in 30 weeks, which is 8 months. So 8 months of 1 times 12 is 100 months. 10 years. If Prime Core shards, 5k was in every event, it would take me 10 years to max out the primes with Prime Core shards. 10 years. 10 years. Think about that. And I'm pretty sure that Master Deck is right. Grand Test, but yeah, what the order done is totally stupid, terrible value. So, oh wait, is that Prime Shard thing? Hamburgers put, which 2 times coin bundle will get me to 87.5k? The 40k one, roughly. They are good value, the 2 times coin bundles. I will give that. I bought one for my account, as you can see there, and I've still got 18k left, so they are good value. Victions, but I want to spend my 5-star to get the arc. Any updates? And Callum's put it's likely in March. Cool. Down to support Prime Core events really need to be 10k per event. It'll still take you 5 years though. So, that's in every single event. So I would definitely increase the Prime Core shards in events and put them in every single event. That's the start of it. That's the start. If they don't do that, it's just a by the by. It's not something that's going to make a difference in the game. There's no addition to the game where they spent time doing it where it's not going to do much. Batman's put just the resources they give in the beginning. My base is already level 10 after 4 days. What? Why don't you go back and use your old account? You can get your old account back. Especially if you spend anything on an account, guys, you can always get it back. It's hard if you haven't, but you can always get it back if you spend even $10. You can always get it back. All you need is a receipt. So don't waste your time starting again, guys, if you've got an account already or had one. But Batman's put my base is already level 10 after 4 days. Got my beloved Deathsaurus 5-star. Logged in back in the day, and it's crazy how much Rush Warriors are in meta. I know, yeah, we forget that, but yeah, Rush Warriors are extreme meta now. They're amazing. Batman's put, I remember getting a 4-star Deathsaurus in its inception, stayed up all night that weekend farming points. Yeah, back when the 4-stars were some of the pinnacles of the game when they were really effective. Doubts, but I had 91k Prime Core shards before the update, now down to 81k to use 2. Okay. Cheetos, but the cost usually goes down when the new wears off. But with 11 primes to go, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's my point. That's my point. It's not like it's an old bot and they're going to bring out more bots and you can go, oh, we can make it cheaper for everyone. They'll have to make it cheaper for old primes, but not the new ones. But the new ones are going to be better. So, yeah, I don't want to invest too much in these primes because they're not very good right now. Track support, like I've always said, players have literally passed away while waiting on content, upgrading and maxed out content. Oh, you can't see my coins. Oh, yeah, it's blocking it. All right, I've got 18k coins. Sorry. Dance Sport, here's the question. Since Solus was released, has there been an event with Megatron's artifacts back in it? Think Prime comes out? Nope, you're right. There's not. Old Prime has not been available. Universal Prime Spark is few and far between. So, yeah. Hamburgers put, you can still do 300 against tier 1 teams with 4 stars. Guts has done it. Yeah, but... yeah, that's not... well, yeah. But let's just say it uses some bots that are quite extreme meta as such, really. I think Air Raid is ridiculous. And Air Raid, I'm sure, is one of the bots. Air Raid, I've tried creating a base where you can't use Air Raid on it, and it was a bit silly, if I'm honest with you. So, I'm not a fan of Air Raid the way it is. I think it's too cheap and has too much range. I think the area of damage is too much, because it literally has to be like 3 squares either way, so it does damage over like 8 squares, which is silly. So, yeah. Oh, Blaze just put Freeze's not streaming tonight. Good to know. I won't, tell everyone to go and watch his stream then, but yeah, good to know. Cool. Okay, well, as always, like I said, put any questions in the chat, guys, and we'll go over it. But let's jump on to the next subject. So, as I said earlier, my buddy Grindtime hit me up and said, "This, I've got this bot. What do you think? Should he go in my war team?" And I was like, yeah, I would in a heartbeat. I could see it being a great replacement for someone on my war team already. And then went away, think about it. I think, have I made the right choice? And I thought, well, I think he's made the right choice in what I would do. But is it the right choice for everyone? Then I started to think, I thought, maybe not. I understand why people might not like this new bot and prefer the other bot, which we'll obviously go through in a minute. And so I want to go through that and talk about pros and cons and why you would maybe want to go to this new bot or maybe why you would want to stick to your old content. And those two bots are Pipes and Beast Wars Ironhide. Now, me personally, I can't wait to get Beast Wars Ironhide. Can't wait to level him. I think he's going to be an absolutely amazing bot. I think he's going to add a new dimension to my war team. And the reason for that is that I know currently that some people are struggling with the MDS, and how I use my pipes generally is I will rush them into a high damage area, have that sort of shield and damage reduction, and save them hitting my team. The acid is nice because it stops healing, but it still takes him quite a while to do some damage against the MDS and take it out. If you try and use other bots abilities on the MDS, even fire abilities with acid, it struggles a bit because the acid wears out, straight away they're healing back again. I did a video not long ago using bots trying to take out the MDS, especially with hitting your bots and you're close by, and just healing straight back up again. So these effects with the MDS can be quite difficult. So the reason that I like Beast Wars Ironhide is simply for the glass gas that is added in. So you got to think that once he rushes into that area, it adds glass gas for 15 seconds. 15 seconds is a long time for glass gas. So you can rush him in and then do your damage of whatever you need to with an extra 40% damage as well. Now, if you rush Beast Wars Ironhide into that target as well, he's doing his DPS. It's a bit more than Pipes. So he's doing his DPS. Damage on that defense. He's doing 40% more damage himself because it's got glass gas. And if you're using ability on that defense as well, it's going to do 40% more damage. And it's not just a short ability, it's 15 seconds. Now, we compare that to Pipes, it's only 12 seconds. Now, 3 seconds you might think that's not a big difference, Wozza, but it's still quite a considerable difference in 12-15. And although Pipes adds acid and stops the healing in that area, he still struggles to take out the MDS and around it as well. So, I think that the big difference though is that Pipes is 3+2. And Beast Wars Ironhide is 3+4. So, if you're using this bot and you want to rush it in and take the hits and you want to keep doing that, then I think Pipes is your bot. Pipes is cheaper, so he can take the hits, and so he's going to survive and keep your team alive. If you're using your Beast Wars Ironhide to rush in and do damage and take out some structures, that's better than Pipes. He will do that more effective. So I think it's a lot more dependent on what you want from your bot. Do you want your bot to rush in, take out defenses, support your team in that sense? Or do you want to rush in and protect your team by maybe not killing defenses but taking the hits? And I think that's the careful balance of what you need to decide. For me personally, will I take Beast Wars Ironhide and use him forever instead of Pipes? I'm not too sure. I think having Pipes and the two of them gives a good alternative. It all depends on the base. It all depends on the strategy. It all depends on what I'm trying to do. It even depends on what prime war effects might come in the future as well. If we're talking about added HP within the game and people struggling to take out the shield gen cluster for HQ19, I can see this guy being a lot more beneficial than Pipes. If we're talking keeping your bots cheap to use other abilities, then I can understand using Pipes. But don't write off Beast Wars Ironhide yet. Also, don't just invest in him and go, he's the replacement for Pipes. It's good to have the two. Other Russian warriors will work as well. You can probably use Ironhide and other, even Nose Cone and other bots as well. It's not just Pipes, but I know that Pipes is probably the most better meta bot in the game right now. But it's a great alternative, guys. And there's not a lot of new bots that come out that I give a seal of approval to and say, listen, this guy will make your war team. It's very rare that happens. I didn't say that about Punch. Didn't say that about Power Glide. Well, I did originally until he got his bit of a nerf. But I am saying about this guy that I can see this guy fitting into my war team and doing a great job. And so when this guy's event comes round, I'll definitely be going all out to get this guy, whatever that event is, because I can see a great use for him. If you've already got him, go and try him in your war team. Rush him into that MDS cluster, whatever it might be, along with another ability, and I think you'll see a decent effect and taking extra damage in that area. So give it a try, guys. Let me know how it goes. Good luck, and I think you'll have a beastly bot on your hands. Yeah, and Dalton's but I'll check that out. Yeah, I think this is the best bot for a long time. I was very excited for him to come out. It's a great bot. Dread81, welcome to the stream. Good to see you, buddy. What set up for Grim? Oh, Cheetah's put he uses the age and Barrow. Yeah, I think you gotta have some anti-hack mechanics on your bots. I have Soul's Prime on my pipes because what you don't want to do is you don't want your bots to be taking damage, and then the bot you want to attract them bots away is hacked. So as a general rule, personally, I wouldn't let your main tank get hacked. I wouldn't let your main high damage bot get hacked, and I wouldn't let your support bot get hacked either if you're dependent on them. So me personally, I make sure that pipes and overload have some anti-hack mechanic on them so that they can't get hacked, because I need pipes to rush in if he's getting low on health and take the hits. I need overload to stop that hack from the likes of Mindwipe, Cosmos, whatever, or even Laukaiser, Computron, things like that, Peacemaker. There's so much hack in the game right now that an anti-hack mechanic is really, really important. And so, yeah, just make sure whatever you classify as important in your team, even with it being Rustos, maybe you want Rustos to do damage and you don't want it to be hacked, then, yeah, consider putting something anti-hack on them as a priority. Data spot, I threw Sundo and Hoist for now. I know that Sundo was crashing the game though. Cheeto told me that, so be careful of that. Hamburgers put, I use Liege and Forge on Grim, but I have Onyx right now because an outpost. Yeah, I wouldn't put Liege and Forge. Don't forget, Liege gives you anti-hack. So I know that Liege hacks bots, but Liege is anti-hack and so is Forge. So you don't need Forge and Liege on it as well. I think it's a bit of a waste, really. You can put Liege elsewhere rather than on the same bot as anti-hack. Mark has G1 Smashdown on his Grim. I've got Grim on my thing, but I don't really use Grim. Like, it's quite a low level on my main account. But what have I got on him? I've got Grimlock's Crown. I've got SP Optimus on him. So yeah. More DPS. Heals for its percent DPS because he's got more DPS than most of the warriors, so kind of makes sense putting SP Optimus on him. So yeah. Hamburgers put right now my Rush Warrior is Headstrong with Barrow and Liege. Yeah, I have a similar setup to one of my bots, which I'm also going to go through when I talk about my S tier bots. So yeah, it's a good combination though. No, I don't have Barrow and Liege actually. I have Liege on Overload, but yeah. But Barrow on a warrior is a good shout. Definitely. Michael Cooper, welcome to the stream. Just put pipes with a lot more health. Yeah, I understand that, but I think no matter what health they've got, once you use that ability of 80% health and damage reduction, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what health they've got, they're going to survive. You could put a 4-star, I think, in that situation. They'll do alright with 80% health and damage reduction, so yeah. Dark Lantern Sport, I bet the MDS will be in the last phase of HU19. Maybe. Maybe. Darkland so Leon just put, look at the cost of bot upgrades, abilities, cost for each rank as a cell in Excel spreadsheet. All bots prime combats use this cell. Changing the cost in the cell will impact everything that uses it. Ooh, what do you mean by that there? You're still talking primes? Because primes and combats and bots use different resources. So nothing changing one will affect the rest. Traxxas put Jesus put falls back to dying. Traxxas put Cheeto spent so much money on this game he can't afford chargers. Dalton's put I think Rat Trap might find his way into the meta to avoid hacks. I think the fact he's a minion doesn't help though. I think that is one thing. But I have started using him, I think, actually. I have started using him. I've just pulled him, I think, actually. Did I pull him recently? Upgrade him? I can't remember. I'm sure I did. There's Spore Spokes. Yeah, I pulled some 5-star combats. Yeah, there's Rat Trap. Yeah, I put it on 6 gun. Stop him being hacked. Because I have him on defense. I know people going, what? You got 6 gun on defense? I do like to put some weird things on defense just to throw people out. I just feel like if you're attacking, if they got him in a cluster, then yeah, he's not going to be much use. But if you can get a stray bot with 6 gun, it's gone, pretty much. So yeah. Hamburgers put Liège as a must on war squads. Yeah, I would say. Yeah. Big Blade, 3-star pipes with Megatronus and Buzz Strike. 2 nose cone with 5-star Jays and Liège. Iron High with G1 and 5-star Buzz Strike. Yeah, all good setups, yeah. Big Blades put with G1 it helps my Iron High's general bulk. Yeah. Darklands put can make any bot combat for Autobots. What do you mean? I'm lost, mate. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I did go and pull Rat Trap. I was just a bit bored and I thought I wanted a new thing. So yeah, I spent some chips. I only got 18k chips there now, but it's okay. Let's do the flex. It's okay because I've got 8,500 combat chips there, so I can just pull them if needs be. Yeah, what's that? Is that Sunder? Oh, I got 2-star Sunder. Cool. I hardly go in this bridge anymore, really. I hardly go in and look. So yeah. Someone wanted to look at Dino King, so we'll have a look at Dino King in action. I don't have it on my actual account, so we can we'll have to go here and use it. Let's activate him here. Dino King. Why am I going to the lab? I don't need to go into the lab, do I? Raiden. Let's put on hard effects. Berserk Sports, anyone got their play level to 100? Mine is 99. Wow. I presume so. I wonder what Cheetos is. He's gone now, but yeah, there'll be some. What's Grind Times? Grind Time, what your play level is? Grind Time must be pretty high. I could be using this in the totally wrong way because, to be honest, I don't use Raiden at all. Like I said, I haven't got him on my account. Yeah, it's kind of melted a bit there. I don't know. I find Raiden on defense quite good. On attack, you don't see him that much. There you go, Darklands, but I'm 100 player rank. There you go. So I'll look at these abilities a minute. Enemy hit by acid ball eliminated during this time, cause range targets to explode. So I need to use that on a cluster. Fires shots bouncing near my target 2 times when assigned to defense. Yeah, it makes sense. So I can use that. Rush in. Double damage to bots and combiners. 6 to 10 gets attack speed. So I think I need to rush him in. So he's got no damage reduction, has he? Where's damage reduction? Let's have a look. So damage reduction, yeah. So rush in and get damage reduction. Use that in an area. Damage increases each time it takes damage. And then finish it off with the acid orb. So then it explodes. And then finish it off with a bullet train, I think. So let's get that a go then. So rush in. Do the shield. Do the acid. Then do the bullet train. Yeah, that worked. Mr. Steeler, welcome to the stream. That was pretty good, actually. Mr. Steeler puts, hey, Wozza got on late. What's up with level 16? My squad power is a little over 25k. With a max 5-star, I'll make a supreme. Sometimes they make through, but the majority of the time they get blown like a kiddie squad. Have a better win rate at 17. Oh, you mean zone 16, you mean? Or level 16? I think you mean zone 16, yeah. 7 to go raiding again. So, rush in. I feel like I need to do acid first, though. Maybe. So, rush in. Nothing too bad. Then do acid. Then do the orb. Then do bullet train. No, not the same effect. I better play around with Raiden. Might as well while we're here. Anyone else use Raiden? Let's have another go. So yeah, I think we need to use acid last, don't we? Acid last. We should have been a bit closer as well over here, I think, into the thing a bit. Then acid. Then bullet train. Yeah. Yeah. So it has to be acid. The shield doesn't do much though, does it? Just do you use the shield last, I think. I don't know. I think the shield is the really awful one, really. It doesn't do anything. Is it broken? Does it work as it should? Being charged and explode after 10 seconds, dealing 2,500 damage in an area. Let's try it again in a minute. Let's do that. Let's do bullet train out of that. Let's do damage in an area with a shield. Yeah, it got us 10 seconds, so that doesn't work either. That shield's just awful. We've got one more go. See what I can get out of this shield. Gonna use that ability last, I think. I'll just go with what I did before. Just stick with that. That good effect, didn't it? We'll stick with that damage. Let's try it up here actually instead. I'll do more. Oh yeah, I don't mind that, yeah. I think either way, yeah. Yeah, the shield does okay, we gotta get off early. You gotta get that shield off early. You gotta get that shield off early because it takes quite a while when it doesn't have much damage reduction. So you gotta get that shield off early. That's the thing. Could push him into a bit of a danger area. Push him into a danger area. Get the shield off early. Get the acid off somewhere. Get the train off. I want to do 2 acids. Can I not? I've seen the acid was up there, again, so I can get 2 acids off there maybe, and maybe finish a bit of bullet train maybe. One last go. Sorry guys, I really want to try this out because I think I can get more out of him. I think I can get more out of him. So rush in. Shield. Acid. Damage reduction. If I can get more out of it, but was there an FFD there? There's an FFD. Is that why? I really want to try and get more out of this guy. I want to see some value in him. I don't want to write him off and go, yeah, he's awful. I think I can get more out of him. Got anti-acid there as well, Jesus. So let's just... I mean, we know we'll take this build box out anyway, won't we? So electric doesn't matter. FFD. So these... I'm sure they still affect combiners, so... Anti-fire zone doesn't matter. So let's try it with that are these build bots there and see if it gets any better then. Let's try it now. I know people were going to say, well, yeah, but you have these at build bots. We know we'll take them out when you before you'd use them, so it makes sense. Yeah, it still dies. Yeah, it does quite got good damage. Takes a good area out, but I feel like yeah, he does alright. He's decent. Obviously a lot better on defense. I mean, you look there on defense, the fact that does double damage to bots. Double damage to bots. Yeah, those two, I think. Yeah, I think you see a lot of bullet train on defense, I think. So, yeah. Definitely better on defense than he's on attack. Definitely someone I'd use on defense. But, yeah, there you go. Cool. Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, Someone from my YouTube comments suggested that I go through all my S tier bots that I rated in my latest ranking video, and went through some setups for the bots and how I would use them in the game. So let's try and keep that up here somewhere, I think, or down here maybe, or something like that. There we go. Maybe cut that out, maybe, actually. In fact, I can cut that out, I think, actually, and use that instead. No, let's come up with that, so, no. Not going to work. I could mess about. Should I mess about? Yeah, give me a second, guys. Let me do this a minute. Let's make it professionally. Sorry, guys. I should have thought about this. But I didn't think I'd be going back and forwards. I don't want to go back and forwards. I want to try and do it so that it's a bit more visually easy for you guys. Right, is that a minute? Let's minimize all these a minute. There we go on this minute, and then why is it not it's still not showing, I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that, I think, actually. I'm gonna have to do it like that, sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to do it like I said. What the hell? There we go. So yeah, I'll have to keep with that again. Bottom corner there. Sorry, guys. Oh my god, I've badly planned this, huh? Oh my god, stay on top. Stay there. How am I going to do this now? I'm going to do this. I need to think about this now. This is really knacking me up. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Let's just go one by one. I'm glad to not show it, I think. I'll just go through one by one. Okay. My bad. My bad. I thought I could do something. I can't. It's not going to work. So I have to do it a bit different. So, first off on the list is Rust Dust. So, the way I've got my Rust Dust set up is close to max out. Obviously, that's a given. With all these bots, obviously, the higher you rank them, the better. But I like Rust Dust G1 for the simple reason that it gives her more ability damage, which is obviously important for taking out defenses, but also heals her. I've coupled that with Nightstick for the reason that that heals Rust Dust as well. Now, Rust Dust is an amazing bot, but the one thing that lets Rust Dust down is the fact that she can run off due to her pathing, and she can get in a bit of trouble. So it's important that you give her a lot of healing so that you're not dragging healers away to heal her, because she obviously has only 27.5k health, so it's not a lot, and can die quite easily before you get that ability damage off. So I think it's important to put plenty of healing on her. Next up, we've got Pipes, and I think that Quintus Prime is an essential Prime core in any war team. Now, I understand that not everyone is using Pipes in a war team. Might not be your thing, might be for leveling. But I just feel like Quintus on a warrior in general just produces sharks with a higher HP rather than higher DPS. Some people prefer extra DPS in their team. They'll put Quintus on a gunner, or even a healer, which I don't quite get. But personally, I like it on a rushing tank at the front so that I can rush him in, he can take the hits. The shark can distract defenses, and that's Pipes' job for me, is to take the hits, distract defenses, and keep them shooting something else other than my team. And so for me, Quintus on Pipes just does something really well. And someone once said to me, pick your bot, whatever it is, whatever you use that bot for, whatever he does, emphasize that. And so that's what I'm doing with Quintus Prime. I use Pipes to distract defensives and shoot the rest of my team, and Quintus does that as well, so I'll put it all straight on Pipes. In terms of Forge of Souls Prime, the only reason that is on there is the hack immunity to save him being hacked, because I mentioned earlier that there's certain bots in my team I don't want being hacked. I want them to be able to rush in when I need to and take the hits and take the heat off the rest of my team, and I can rush them wherever I need to. Couple that with the fact that he comes back to health. Sometimes there might be a rogue sometimes there might be a rogue FFD somewhere that you didn't see, and you rush him in and he dies. It's a bit forgiving if you make a mistake in a war. So I really like the setup in terms of Forge of Souls Prime and Quintus. Next up is Smokescreen. So for me personally, I like Glitch. I like Smokescreen to stay way back, because then you don't get any AoE damage from mortars, things like that. He stays way at the back doing that damage. He's my big damage dealer in terms of DPS, but with only 15k health, he dies very easily. He only needs a few hits. I've got Volatile Mixture on him. You don't need Volatile Mixture, really. I just like that extra ability damage to be able to take out defenses. And it just gives you that security of doing that extra damage. Some people like his G1. You can put his G1 on him, which protects him a bit better. It does extra damage to bots, things like that. But I just prefer it to take out defenses. That's what I use him for mostly, is his DPS and taking out key defenses. I just feel like that Volatile Mixture gives that bit extra of security taking it out. Let's go and test count a minute. Next up is Trax, and I think that the old combo of Primer and Flak was a great combo, works really well. But I think with the introduction of Peacemaker now, it's almost an upgrade from Flak, and I feel like with the extra hack that gives you, it's just a match made in heaven of that Primer and Peacemaker rather than Flak. But definitely the best combo for Trax in my opinion. Next up, we've got Sunstreaker. Now, obviously, I've got 4-star Nightstick on mine, but because I use the 5-star elsewhere. But obviously, we've got 5-star Nightstick. It works better. But Nightstick, again, for that healing. I like a lot of healing on my gunners. I like them to self-heal. And I also feel like if you can have as many bots as you can healing in your war team, it just saves your healers healing them and can heal elsewhere. Couple that with the extra ability damage that he gets and the spread, coupled with the spread from ability 11 and things like that. The G1 of Sunstreaker just emphasizes that ability 11 does really well as well. If you don't have the G1, a Volatile Milkshake will suffice instead, but the G1 is obviously preferential. Next up is Slug and Rampage. Personally, if you're having one rushing warrior, I would set it up with the Quintus and Forge. Nexus can do really well for your combiner if that's a big part of your game. A lot of people focus on taking the Nexus core out on attack and having Nexus on your war team. I'm not too bothered too much personally, but I know a lot of people run that. So if you're trying to fit it in somewhere, it is good on a tank. If you're obviously having 2 rushing warriors, then yeah, great. You can separate that of one having Forge and maybe Quintus, another one having some other support kind of core. And then in terms of combat, again, I would just look at putting the likes of Forge of Souls Prime or some kind of anti-hack. If you've got 2 rushing warriors, you're not bothered about one being hacked, then you can maybe put Jays on instead. But personally, I just like some anti-hack mechanic on my 1 rushing warrior that I have in my war team. Next up is Ironhide. Same again, exactly the same setup in terms of that I would have a Prime Core and I would have Forge of Souls Prime. You can use his G1 to give him that bit extra, but I'm not a big fan person. I like put my Prime Cores in my team and try and get as many Prime Cores in as I can, and would definitely put a Prime Core on Ironhide like I did with the other Warriors as well. Nose Cone is no different. I think the only difference is that he's slower rushing in, but I would still set him up exactly the same as the other Warriors. And next up is Rook. So because he's not a rush in warrior as such and he's there to take the hits as much, is not as much protected as the rest, I kind of treat him a bit different. So this guy is my kind of backup for my rush in warrior. Yes, I use him to pop outposts, but I don't want him to take the hits. I want Pipes to take the hits. But he is still there to take the hits if my other warrior dies or if he walks off for whatever reason. Now, the reason I like his G1 is that it restores health and it gives him a reflection shield. So it's reflecting that damage back. Couple that with Jays as well, who also reflects damage back and removes shields. Means that you got damage resistance, you got reflection shield, you remove shields. It just gives him a bit of utility really in terms of protecting your team and trying to soften up the opposing team whilst giving him a bit of a health boost as well. I did have my Cronus on him at one time, but I just prefer my Cronus now on my healers. It just gives your healers a bit of a boost so you don't lose them and keeps them alive. And so really, I'm not too bothered about Rook getting hacked because he has low DPS. If Pipes got hacked, it'd be worrying because I rush Pipes in to take the hits. I can't rush Rook in. He's set where he is. So no matter where he is on the map, he's kind of just sat there. So that's why I don't worry too much about getting hacked. If he does get hacked in terms of my team, it does 520 DPS. It's not a disaster. Next up is Drift, and the simple reason that he's on this list as S tier is that he can take out a HU18 solo. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't use him that much, but if I was to use him personally, I would have his G1 just to help him heal. Now, I understand that he's only going to get hit if you keep him under stealth by AoE, so it's not a must to give him a G1, but the fact that it increases his attack and movement speed is the most important. You're just trying to get that extra damage out of him. Now, personally, I'd have the Forge of Souls Prime on him. Now, you can put Primer on him instead. Now, Primer increases his DPS, which can be important, but you've got to be aware that it drops a hollow. So if you drop the hollow, it might pop outposts, it might do something you don't want it to do. You've got to make sure that the combat pops first, and the fact that Drift jumps around might get him in trouble. So having Primer gives a bit of uncertainty. But if you can manage the hollow so that it's not going to hinder your attack, then I would definitely have Primer on him rather than Forge of Souls. If you're less confident with that, then I would simply just stick to Forge of Souls Prime, where he might come back alive again. Obviously, Flare Mines can catch him. The given is you hit a Flare Mine, you drop your Combiner, he comes back to life again, and you rush him back to HQ again, and he's back in stealth again. But let's just say, again, it's quite forgiving that for some reason that he does get caught and you don't want to drop your Combiner at that point, you can be safe that you understand it's going to come back to life again, you've got another try. So that Flare Mine is not necessarily going to kill him, and you've got a bit of a second chance. Next up is Taz Kid, and for me, the one downfall of Taz Kid that is melee and gets in a bit of trouble. Now, this guy does incredible damage, and so for me, Alchemist Prime works really well for him. I've had plenty of times where I've been using Taz Kid, and because he's also quite cheap at 2 ability points or 3 ability points, you can lose health and you can use his ability, and it will literally bring him straight back to full health again using his ability. So that extra healing is great. Enerax gives him that bit of extra health again because he's he is 1.9 in speed. He is a melee bot, so he can struggle in terms of getting hits. So the extra health, the extra bonus healing that he gets from Alchemist as well doubles with that. So I feel like giving Taz Kid some sort of healing for himself does really well. The fact that Enerax pops a minion is here nor there. It's all about that healing. So if you don't have Enerax, but you've got Taraxodon, then you can use that instead. But just something that doubles up with that Alchemist to give him extra healing, keeps him alive, just works really well for me in case he gets in a bit of trouble. And last off is B-Squad's Ironhide. Now you can set him up exactly as you would with the other bots in terms of taking the hits, but as we spoke about earlier, he's not exactly the same as the rest of the warriors, because although he does take the hits, he does incredible damage in terms of his glass gas. Now if you want to set him up with something, you could set him up with a Prime Core, definitely. You could even put Megatronus on him to increase that damage because you're getting 40% extra. And in terms of combats, because it's mostly minion combats that you can attach to him, I would again put something anti-hack, because if you are going to be rushing him into areas to do glass gas, you want to make sure that he's rushing in and not getting hacked. Liège can usually be around the cluster, and so you definitely don't want him being hacked, and that's definitely an option. If you're not going to use him for that, I'd question why you're using him and not using pipes or something instead. So definitely some anti-hack mechanic, and definitely for me, I would do some sort of damage on him to take advantage of that glass gas. So that's all my S tier bots that I rated in my ratings video, all listed on how I would set them up. Let me know if you would set them up any different in the comments. I'm intrigued to know. Let me know, guys. Let's see what you guys are putting. If that's the way you do it, I'm out of here. I can't watch this unprofessional disaster. I'm sorry, grind time. CF had a blowout. Hope you're right, buddy. Ouch. If that's what you mean. A blowout was in like on the motorway or whatever, a tyre gone. Hope you're right, mate. Yeah, Darton's just put the fastest scout. I know, but she's worth it though. Andrew Stevenson's put, is Sundar good, and who would you pair him with? I don't rate him at all, really. He's very average. I don't really like him. Blaze put, I use Quintus on Salvager. Salvager? Salvager? Who's Salvager? Who's Salvager? Do you mean, Scavenger? You mean Armada Scavenger, or you mean Scavenger, the Decepticon Scavenger? I presume you mean Decepticon Scavenger. I think you need a combat on Scavenger to keep him back, though. I get doing damage, but don't forget, you don't need Quintus on the bot that's killing the defenses. If you have Quintus on pipes and Rust Dust kills the defenses, the sharks will still come out of pipes. It doesn't need to be on the bot that's taking out the defense, if that makes sense. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, the sharks do more damage if you put it on, obviously, the likes of Rust or Scavenger. It depends what you want from it. I want protection rather than damage, personally. CS put, I really do think, and Wozza can agree or disagree. I mean, me and Wozza can agree. We need the scout class back, as well as an additional class for support bots. Yeah, I think we need more classes and differentiating between a few. Big Blade likes both Smoky and Blue Streak. Yeah, I like Blue Streak before the change. I'm not going to lie. I don't use them as much now. It gets quite expensive. But for what I use him for, take out Bill bots, then obviously Smoke Screen's a lot cheaper. Darklands, rank up your Sunstreaker. Is that on test though? I think it must be on test. Yeah, it's on test, isn't it? It doesn't matter on test, does it? I can rank him to max on test. On live, I've got him as not a general. I don't think it's one below. I think. Yeah, as a major. Yeah. Dance support. Yeah, 2 new classes that are official will reduce special class considerably. Yeah, special class is too big, definitely. Dance support Buzz Strike for anti-hack. I just don't think what Buzz Strike does though for Forge personally. I think Forge is better than Buzz Strike. So. Hamburgers put Nexus on a Rush Warriors tragic. Well, where would you put it? Let me know. Healer? But then it reduces the healing, so I don't know. Spence put, wasn't going to hate me for this, but I'm not getting what's good with Sunstreaker. No, listen, it was trash. But it's had a buff, and it's incredible. His range is amazing. I mean, like, I'll show you. That's quite incredible range. You look at it. Look at that. It can reach half the map. Don't forget, I'm right at the back of the launch pad here. I haven't got the launch pad yet. So look, edge of the launch pad. I mean, it's anti-fire cores, I think, there, so... I think there is somewhere, but yeah. There you go. That's why it's good. It's got incredible range to take out defenses. So yeah. Then obviously look at the healing from having Black Nightstick on him. If that helps. Hamburgers put, I'd rather have Nex on a gunner because of the high DPS. Why would you put... Why? So I think people are getting a bit mixed up there, I think. I've seen this before, that you put Nexus on your team, and your team does extra damage, whatever it is. If you read the thing, look. While the equipped bot is in battle, deal 33.5 DPS to enemy combiners. So it's not just for that bot. Your whole team does. Yeah? So you don't put it on a gunner because that gunner will do extra damage to combiners. Your whole team will. While that equipped bot is in battle, if it dies, none of your team does. So while that bot is in battle, your whole team will do 33% more damage to combiners. So yeah. Gary North has put, what combat would you recommend for Ramjet? I did a video, it's going to be coming this week, I think it is, about Goldfire and Ramjet and how poor they are. I mean, Bash Breaker with the acid will help his fire a bit, do more damage. So anything with around acid will help. But yeah, I think that's it really. It doesn't have many options. So I'd go with the Bash Breaker, or if you want to keep him alive, Jarze. Depends what you want to do. Try to keep him alive longer, but even, 20% health and a bit of damage resistance won't help him. He's going to die really quickly. So. Spain has Quinton Oxus Prime. Yeah, makes sense. You're going to rush in. Yeah, kind of makes sense, yeah. Metabears put Solar Prime cores into the primes, but where's Alpha Trine core? I know, still waiting for that. Shock Bomb. If you didn't use Rust Dust, who would you use? No one else. Rust Dust is immense. Sunstreaker is a close second. Really good, but more expensive. I mean, you've got Rust Dust at 5+3, but you've got Sunstreaker is obviously 7+3. So, but Sunstreaker is really, really good as well. Yeah, hamburgers, but always, yeah. It is the team. Yeah, it's fine. I understand that it's a bit misleading. Listen, I'm not like thinking so, because it says while the equipped bot is in battle, deal more damage to enemy combiners. So it would make sense by the way it is explained that bot would do more damage, but no. Because you read the second part, if you deploy the equipped bot before your combiner attack, you'll combine against 33% DPS. So I kind of get where you might be thinking. Dancers put, so your hammer is going to be better, but 5-star Buzz Strike will help out when 5-star and 4-star hammer are used elsewhere. Very true. Very true. Very true. Brad Channing, how's it going? I did just catch a message above and then you retracted what else you said, so it was either an insult or a mistake. Either way, not bothered. King Grimlock as well, welcome to the stream as well. You are at the sort of tail end of the stream, but I still appreciate you joining though, regardless. Hamburgers put must have Prime Core for Wars, Alpha Trion, Micronus, Nexus, Quintus, Liege. Yeah, I have all 5 on my war team. I do. I have Quintus on pipes. As you can see there. I have Liege on Overload, so it doesn't get hacked. I have Alpha Trion on Ratchet, because it can go anywhere, really. I don't have Nexus, actually. I'm not going to lie. I don't have Nexus on. I have my Cronus on Wheeljack. As I've made this change, I love it. I love my Cronus on my healers. I think it's amazing. Keeps your healers well healed, and when they come forward and heal your tanks, they heal your gunners anyway. My Cronus, so win-win. I think that's it, innit? Yeah, I don't really have Nexus, but I understand the appeal of it. I do. Yeah, Spence put Rust Dust as a must. Yeah, I don't understand anyone who doesn't use Rust Dust. She's that OP. I don't understand anyone that will use any other bot, really. Take out the fire cores, use Rust Dust. Super easy. Hamburger, I thought Quintus only activated the holder destroys the building. No, well, I'll show you. I'll do a test to show you. Just do normal mode, don't need that. So obviously Quintus is on pipes. So if you watch, pipes over here, and then smoke screen here. There you go, shark, look. Just any bot, you can see the end of the shark there. Yeah. And watch how smoke screen does this. Obviously hit a shark, but you see that pipes hasn't took anything out yet, so no sharks. But if pipes takes it out, it will. One from him. One from there. See, look, so there you go. Yeah. So it doesn't matter who it's on. Only matters is obviously which bot you put it on. It takes their stats into consideration. So if you put Quintus on a gunner, the sharks will do more DPS because it's 20% health and DPS. So if you want them to do more damage, put them on a gunner. But for me, I always said this, that 20%, let's just say I put it on a gunner. Let's just say I put it on my highest gunner. Let's just say I put it on smoke screen. So 20% of his DPS is 200. So it would have, if I put it on smoke screen, it would have 250 DPS and 3,000 health. Yeah? 250 DPS and 300 health, let's just say. By putting it on pipes, it has 120 DPS, so half, but it has 12,000 health. So it's a big difference. Having it on a high HP bot makes it have a huge difference in HP, but a small difference in DPS. Because the DPS between smoke screen and pipes, the DPS is about double, but health-wise, it's like 5 times. So you're getting a lot more benefit out of putting the sharks on a high HP bot than a high DPS bot. So I advise you to do that. But if you want more DPS in your team, that's fine. But they're going to have low health anyway and then die quite quickly. So I never see the point, personally. Berserk's put Rodimus and Rustus is fun too. Yeah, no doubt. Does it get a bit expensive though? I don't know. Yeah, Spence put Smoker to take out fire cores, Rustus to clear up. That's exactly what I do. Hamburgers put Howard, Quintus, and Cray to make a fireline pair up there. It doesn't matter. You can put Quintus on anything. You put Cray to make a fireline on whatever bot you want, and you put Quintus on somewhere else. Just have Quintus in your team, and you'll get sharks. You don't have to put it with whatever. It's just put Quintus in your team. Plain and simple. Put on a high HP bot, and don't worry about the rest. Just put it on there. That makes sense. You don't have to worry about pairing it up with anything. Spence put, what's the best up bots? I'm kind of stopping and seeing what works best. I don't know. I mean, like, I like Chromia. Again, I like to experiment. I feel like what happens is people attack bases and you get the same outpost bots every time, and then because of that, people get used to how to deal with it. So I've put Chromia in there. I just feel like the tower does quite a lot of damage. It's just something a bit different. I think you've got to have Cosmos just because they don't have anti-hack. They're stuck. Then I've got Swoop just again for that damage. Then I've got Overload to protect an area. I've got Skyrim on defense, but I'm open to changing that. I'm not a big fan. Probably Raiden when we get the 5-star version, maybe. And then I've got Sit's Gun on there just because if any strays go walking round, Sit's Gun will sort of eliminate them and take them out. So, and that's what my base is all about. But I did want to I've done it already. So yeah, cool. Dalton's just put a mirror in my war squad. He said it worked well, so yeah. Oh, Cheeto's back. I use SGTC. Yeah, but I think the same applies. So I mean, he's got 30%, 30,000 health. So 20% of that is 6,000 health. 6,000 health and 300 DPS. So 3,000 and 6,000. 300, sorry, 306,000, 300 DPS and 6,000. Whereas on this, it gives 120 DPS, but like 13,000 health. So it's double. So yeah, I definitely prefer it on my tanks. Yeah, Cheetos put I change ups all the time and change my base almost daily. Yeah, I do tweak it after every attack just to see what works, what doesn't. I do change it a lot, and my ops are kind of set now, but I want a couple more. We need some good op bots, I think, coming out. Yeah, Spencer's been changing it as well. Yeah, I changed mine quite a bit, but there's don't think no right or wrong answer, so to speak. But yeah, I mean there is. I mean, don't put tracks on defense. Don't get me wrong. There is a right or wrong answer. Sorry, but don't be scared of experiment a bit on someone you think might work and being a bit different. Like I said, with Chromium and Sit's Gun, you won't see that many times. But I think that most people will look at Chromium and go, what? But then struggle a bit because she does quite a lot of damage. People don't realise like Chromium's a bit of a quiet one, honestly. So I've got Primer and Peacemaker on defense. So you got to think that she'll throw an EMP shock tower down. It'll do 100% of her damage, so 650 DPS. Every 4 seconds, it disables. After 30 seconds, it'll deal 3.5 times your DPS as normal damage. So 6, 12, 18, about 2,000 damage in an area on death. So it does 600 damage every second, I think it is. And then does 2k in an area as well. Enemies hit by an explosion have a 6% DPS and ability damage. So it's like extended glass gas. So you gotta think that she's hacking, doing primer, which gains 25% DPS, more ability damage. So this takes 25% more damage as well. The glass gas on top of that when it explodes, added on a DPS. It's just a lot of damage on her. She has a lot of damage, and more than you might realise. I tell you what, let's put her on down here. Let's see how she goes against some bots. Let's put my setup on her. I'm lost. What are we talking about with all this DPS? DPS, damage per second. DPS. What the bot does, DPS there, damage. DPS. Let's put a 5-star Peacemaker on. The only reason I haven't got 5-star Peacemaker on is because I use my war team more. So let's just move some defenses around, make it a bit more. I mean, is it realistic to have that on? I don't know, maybe. Let's do that. Move that away. I haven't got it on my war team really, but let's just say you can use it to good effect. So let's just put some bots on. I'm just putting random bots on here now. So, but I was trying to put bots in that I would use maybe. Where's smoke screen? Oh, let's smoke screen. Let's put a couple of healers on. Again, I've not really set it up, not really thought much about it, but you get the idea. We'll talk about Quintus, Cheeto. We'll talk about Quintus. If you have Quintus on SG Jetfire compared to pipes, that's what I'm talking about. So let's just put these on a minute, and let's just rush pipes in to. So you can see here. Watch the shot tower. When it explodes, it's not even getting the chance. I need to take MDS out. It's killing him anyway. Let's take the MDS out. It's incredible damage. It's stupid, isn't it, on this on these new effects? So let's change up a bit. Let's do that a minute. So it's not too stupid. So you can see what Chromia does rather than the MDS. So rush them in. There we go. Chromia, Peacemaker. See there, tower shocking everyone. Let's give him a bit of a healing boost. We can see there, look at that. Bang. Heals are gone. Once that tower dies, it is crazy what damage it does. So yeah. In terms of 6 gun, there we go. Let's put them there like that. It's a bit different in the case of what I'll show you is the idea is not to hit the rushing warriors. It's not going to work if you just put it in a place where they're going to all sit together. The idea is that it's going to hit a bot like Taz Kid or something. You can see there, look. Yeah. So the idea is that it's going to take a key bot out. Any bot that goes near that, it's going to take out, other than a rushing warrior, really. Let's try a rushing warrior without the shield, say. Let's say a warrior runs off. Let's just go with that. Oh, I forgot to put healers down. But you see there, it took the Solus out and then made it go down health even more. So it does alright against rushing warriors, but warriors in general, but it does better against any special bots that walk off. So you want to put 6 gun anywhere where you think there might be a split. And we'll take out a bot on his own, maybe. Yeah. So Quintus on Rodimus is bad. I don't think there's anything bad about putting it on Rodimus, but I just don't think I would just put it on a warrior. That's simple. Choose to put Inferno, Antagonist, or Scavenger. Bots that have a Quintus. More buildings, more sharks. No, because it doesn't matter who you put it on. People get mixed up with that. It's not the bot that you put it on. It takes the DPS and the health from the bot you put it on, but the sharks appear regardless of who you put it on. If you did you see this earlier? I don't know. People get mixed up with this, but yeah. So we put pipes over here. Then we put smoke screen here. If you watch, pipes won't destroy anything, but the sharks come regardless. So it doesn't matter who kills the defense. The sharks will come on pipes. But you can see there that, look, They've got low of HP. That turret there is hitting the sharks and it's doing nothing to them. So yeah, it doesn't matter who kills the defense. You don't have to put on the bot that kills the defense. It's not like if you put it on a gunner and he kills the defense, you'll get a shark from the gunner. The sharks appear no matter who kills the defense. Every time a defense is killed, it will appear from pipes. And Cheetos put, sharks don't last long. I want more, not stronger. But you won't get more. You get more damage, but you won't get more sharks by putting it on someone like that. You'll get the same sharks as everyone else, regardless. You'll only get as many sharks as there are defenses or whatever on the map. That doesn't change. Just you get more damage from them by putting it on someone with a higher DPS. But I understand that, yeah, some people have said that you know, with that much HP, they don't last long enough, so you might as well put it on someone with a bit lower HP. I'm gonna sneeze, sorry. Oh, but in higher damage areas, they'll still last. They'll still last. Because, like I said, if you put it on SG Jetfire, listen, it's a game of opinions, but if you put on SG Jetfire, your sharks will have 6,000 health. Whereas if you put it on pipes, mine will have 10, 8, 16, 12,000 health. Yeah. What Cheeto means is those bots destroy more buildings at one time faster. Yeah, but it doesn't matter though. I don't get what you're getting at because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who destroys it though. So they can destroy all they want faster. It'll still come from one bot. If I use Rustus in an area who destroys the biggest area, Pipes will still get 10 sharks, say, from him. If I issue Jetfire, I'll still get 10 sharks from Pipes. Yeah. You know, you still get the same amount of sharks. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going round and round in circles on it. Yeah. You get an army of sharks. Yeah, but you still do. You still get an army of sharks. It doesn't matter who you use. If you put it on Rust Dust and you kill a defense with Rust Dust and you have pipes on it. If you have Quintus on Rust Dust and you have pipes or something else and you destroy 10 defenses with Rust Dust, you'll get 10 sharks. If you have Quintus on pipes and use Rust Dust to kill 10 defenses, you'll still have 10 sharks. It doesn't make a difference. You'll still have the same amount of sharks if you kill defenses with whatever bot. Either I don't understand what you're saying or you guys are really missing the point there. It doesn't matter where you have Quintus on your team. If you destroy an area, I mean, watch. The only argument about having it not on pipes and having it on a more DPS bot is that the DPS and HP of the sharks will change. That's the only thing. So, for example, let's take this fire core out. Yeah? Let's put pipes down here. Let's use Rustus over here. So, use Rustus there. Use Rustus there. Now, watch pipes. All the sharks come from pipes. Look. Now, in a low damage area, then yeah, the sharks are probably a bit useless because they're lasting longer than... You can see here, look, it lasts, and loses HP. So I kind of get that. But in a high damage area, the sharks will last a lot longer than if you put it on a bot with higher DPS. Oh, Blade 19 put you are taking out defensive without dropping pipes at the start. Oh yeah, that is a fair point. Yeah, fair point. But I generally do. I do the same attack pretty much all the time. So yeah, I suppose if you're trying to clear an area, yeah, with one bot, then yeah, you are right. You're probably better having it on the sharks on the bot you're clearing the area with. But then if you're using SG Jetfire, you're not going to clear an area with SG Jetfire. So why would you have it on him? I understand a bit on Rustos in that sense. So yeah, it'll help clear an area definitely. Yeah, it doesn't matter which bot they're coming from. Yeah. In terms of HP and DPS, yeah. But what doesn't matter is which bot's clearing up. That's the point I'm making. If you're clearing up with Rust Dust and it's on pipes, or you're clearing up with Sunstreaker and it's on pipes, it doesn't matter. That makes sense. Yeah, I understand you can have the sharks on a bot you need to protect more. Yeah, I kind of understand that. Yeah. So maybe, yeah, on Rook rather than on pipes. I kind of understand that, but I just like to have... Because pipes is a bit faster, so pipes is 1.8. And don't forget, I'm not going to always use pipes ability and rush him in. So although you say pipes doesn't need it, I kind of disagree that I want to keep pipes alive more than anyone. Pipes a lot more important than Rook is. If I lost Rook, but Rook I tend to use at the start of a battle more, pipes towards the end. So I need to keep pipes alive more than Rook. So if I was to lose Rook but not pipes, it won't bother me. So I'm not going to always use Pipe's ability and go rush, 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 rush. So when he's not rushing, I do need to keep him alive, and that's where the sharks do help him, if that makes sense. But yeah, I understand your sort of logic in terms of putting it on a bot that might need it a bit more, like a special bot or something, to protect them. Yeah, I kind of get that. But if I was to put it on Rook, like I said, with a speed of 1.7, the sharks would start behind pipes and you wouldn't, and pipe take more hits. So by putting it on pipes, the sharks running in front of pipes and so protect pipes more and thus the rest of my team. If I was to put it on Rook, who generally stays behind pipes, it will protect the rest of my team but not pipes. So by putting it on the furthest bot forwards, it protects the rest of your team. And I know some people are saying like, oh, well, you put it on maybe like SG Jetfire, but then the sharks are starting from mid behind your team and having to run through. Again, I suppose it depends what you use them for. If you use them for protection, then yeah, I kind of get you put it on a frontline tank. If you're trying to get it for a bit more DPS, then I kind of get putting it on a gunner or something like that as well, if you want more. But ultimately, where you put it in your team, all you've got to think of is, do you want more damage from the sharks, or do you want more protection from the sharks? That's what I would consider out of two things, really. And I want more protection. That's what I want. But ultimately, listen, if it works for you, then why does it matter? Keep it on the bot you want. But all I know is I've had a 300 every war since August. So it must work. Yeah, Jesus, but nothing drops in the air. Yeah, sharks don't drop in the air, I'm pretty sure. Mr. Steele's put nice if you could. No, I disagree. I don't like anything dropping from the air. Unless it's meant to. That makes sense. Like dropping bombs or something. But yeah, not dropping. I don't like this. Dropping minions and dropping sharks and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of it, to be fair. But yeah. But I hope that sort of Nexus Quintus thing has sort of cleared a few things up for people. Make sure that, you know, don't worry too much about putting it on X bot to do damage. You know. Tarak, welcome to the stream. It is quite late in the stream, but welcome regardless. But yeah, I hope it has sort of cleared it up. Like, you know, I don't want people thinking they have to put Nexus on a gunner to do more damage. You can put it anywhere in your team. You can put a lot of people put Nexus on a healer so that your team does extra damage against Combiner. You know, why would you put it on a healer when a healer doesn't do damage? It's because it puts all your team with extra damage, not just the bot it's on. So keep that in mind, guys. And again, Quintus Sharks come from whatever bot it's on. Doesn't matter what bot's doing the damage. So keep that in mind as well. Cool. Well, that is it for this week, guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll be back next week, as always, and should have more information, hopefully, about the new bot and about playtests and what's happening. I'll have a bit more information next week about the interview as well with Dale and hopefully Callum. We'll get a set date and time, so you'll have an idea of that, and I'll have an idea next week what I'm going to be doing about the interview, and whether it's members only, they can comment. I mean, it's going to be public viewing. Don't worry about that, guys. Everyone's going to be able to watch it, but whether it's members only that can do comments or not, I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of that yet, or something like that. But yeah, I want to do something for the members, so I might just do that. So, because I understand that sometimes doing them interviews, everyone asking questions gets a bit crazy. So, yeah. But yeah, listen, thanks as always, guys. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit a like on the stream before you do anything else. The best thing you can do is completely free to subscribe or to put a like on the video. Doesn't cost you a single penny, guys, but obviously helps me in my analytics. So thank you. If you have already, if you haven't, why not? And if you want to support the channel, become a member. Don't forget, guys. A lot of my, long-serving followers have become members already and support the channel. So if you want to do that, then thank you in advance. But that's it for tonight's stream. Thanks for joining, guys. See you next weekend. Peace out.